You are 20-something years old. This is perhaps your 14th mission. The average bomber crew does not make it to 25. You are part of the 8th Air Force on a bombing mission in late 1944. Your aircraft, the B-17, carries 10 men. Today, you will make decisions as they did, not as a hero, but as a crewman following doctrine, in this first episode of Can You Survive? You will be placed into different crew positions during this mission. Each role comes with different information and different responsibilities. A question will appear on screen depending on the scenario. Make your choice before the answer is revealed. Your B-17 has now crossed over the English Channel. The weather is cloudy and the winds begin to differ from what the forecast briefing foretold. You are now the navigator and detect stronger crosswinds which can move the aircraft and formation from their route. Do you recalculate drift and inform bombardier and pilot? B. Adjust the heading yourself? Or C. Ignore it, the mission already started? Correct answer A. Recalculate and inform bombardier and pilot. Wind drift had a direct effect on bombing accuracy, especially during the final minutes of the run. Navigators were trained to continuously update drift calculations and relay said corrections verbally to the bombardier and pilots, who alone could apply them without destabilizing the aircraft or bomb site. Making unannounced heading changes disrupted bomb site stabilization and formation alignment, often reducing accuracy rather than improving it. You are now the radio operator, and due to the same weather conditions, a heavy static has disrupted communication between the ship and its neighboring aircraft. Now with the communication degraded, do you A. Increase transmission power, B. Switch frequencies, or C. Report interference only? The correct answer, C. Report interference only. Weather-related static was a known and expected problem, and doctrine prioritized communication discipline over immediate clarity. Increasing transmission power rarely overcame atmospheric interference and often created overlapping signals, worsening communication across the formation. Switching frequencies independently could briefly restore reception, but it isolated individual aircraft from formation-wide instructions and delayed reactions to changes in courses or altitude. Reporting interference allowed formation leaders to determine whether the issue was local or widespread, and respond in a coordinated way. Standardization mattered more than perfect communication. While approaching the territory for the bomb run, German 88mm flak guns began to intensify over the city, covering the blue sky in thick clouds of smoke and shrapnel. The flak had managed to hit your engine, and you are now the flight engineer. Engine 3 is losing oil pressure, but is still producing power. You must advise the pilot. What do you recommend? A. Feather the engine immediately. B. Reduce power and monitor. Or C. Shut down and prepare to turn back. The correct answer, B. Reduce power and monitor. An engine losing oil pressure but still producing power was not considered an immediate shutdown condition. Flight engineers were trained to reduce power to limit further damage while monitoring temperature and pressure trends. Feathering the engine immediately eliminated usable thrust and increased drag, reducing airspeed and making it harder to hold formation, often exposing the aircraft to additional fighter attack. Preserving controlled power for as long as possible maximized formation cohesion and kept options open if conditions worsened. German fighters begin to scramble around the formation, and you are now a waist gunner. As the enemy fighters pick off individual aircraft, you as a waist gunner must make a decision before firing upon them. Do you A. Track only confirmed attackers, B. Fire at distant aircraft to deter pursuit, or C. Wait until closer range before firing? Correct answer, A. track only confirmed attackers. Waste gunners operated with limited ammunition and narrow firing arcs, which required strict fire discipline. Tracking only confirmed attackers ensured ammunition was available when fighters committed to an attack run. Firing at distant or maneuvering aircraft rarely deterred pursuit and often revealed firing arcs without effect, leaving the gunner low on ammunition when attacks became coordinated. The navigator across the intercom announces that the B-17 formation is minutes away from the target. You are now the pilot. You switch controls from yourself to the bombardier to control the aircraft in order to release the bombs. Bombardier announces, "I have the aircraft." With the aircraft in autopilot and the bombardier needing to drop the bombs over the target, even with fear of flak or enemy fighters, do you A. Continue assisting with minor inputs, B. Release your controls completely, or C. Override the control during flak bursts? The correct answer, B. Release your controls completely. During the bomb run, aircraft stability was paramount. The Norden bomb site required uninterrupted, predictable flight to maintain calibration through the final approach. Even small pilot inputs intended to help or smooth the aircraft introduce oscillations that force the bombardier to re-establish alignment, reducing accuracy across the entire formation. Overriding the bombardier during flak bursts compounded this problem, creating abrupt changes in altitude at the most critical moment of the run. Doctrine required pilots to fully relinquish controls and resist the instinct to intervene, even under heavy fire. This strict separation of responsibility preserved bombing effectiveness and formation coordination, despite being psychologically difficult to maintain. You are now the bombardier, and through the glass nose of your B-17, you notice the leading aircraft drop their bombs early. You know you are to drop on watch of the lead aircraft. So do you A. Follow immediately, B. Delay until you sight the target, or C. Hold bombs in bomb bay for the mission? The correct answer, A. Follow immediately. Group bombing doctrine required all aircraft to release when the lead aircraft released, regardless of individual site picture. This synchronization kept the formation intact and concentrated bomb impact over the target area. Delaying release to wait for personal target confirmation widened the bomb pattern and increased fragmentation, often reducing damage rather than improving accuracy. Holding bombs in the bay after the lead dropped broke formation timing entirely and extended exposure to flak during the most dangerous phase of the mission, even when the lead aircraft released slightly early or late. Following immediately preserved cohesion and minimized time over the target. Every choice you made followed the doctrine of its time. Procedures built from hard lessons with heavy losses. Most aircraft returned to their bases missing a few crew members and perhaps an engine. Those decisions didn't promise survival. They only narrowed the margins of failure. Crews who flew missions like this didn't know which mission would matter. Survival wasn't proof of doing everything right. It was simply the absence of one burst of flak or one decision that ended the mission early.